All right, so in today's class we are going to discuss your gas processes. So I told you in the first lecture itself, that is, if we are actually considering a gas state, okay, it will have its own pressure, volume, temperature. And I told you, if a graph, okay, PV indicator diagram is there, and if a gas is at state 1, if it is going to some other state like this from 1 to 2, it can undergo any of these processes like this. If it is undergoing isobaric process, your pressure is constant. If it is undergoing isochoric process, your volume is constant. If it is isothermal process, your temperature is constant. If it is adiabatic, no heat comes or goes out of the system. And if it is polytropic process, what is going to happen is, we'll talk about it. I'll explain polytropic process. It is a generalized form of adiabatic process. Here we'll get PV power gamma is equal to constant, and here you will get some PV power n equal to constant. It is similar to adiabatic, but it is like all these processes, if you mix, you are going to get your polytropic process. You change the value of n accordingly, you are going to get, if n value is something, you are going to get isobaric. If n value is something, you are going to get isochoric. Like that, you change the value of n, your polytropic process will become into these combinations. Okay. Now, what is that we are going to do is, we are going to apply, okay, first law of thermodynamics to all these by calculating your work, internal energy and heat energy. For all the process, my today's class target is calculation of W, internal energy delta U and heat energy Q. Okay. Now, for that, okay, from heat capacity of gases, specific heat capacity of gases, if at all in the problems anywhere, if I need the results, I am going to use this. So that is why I am telling this. This heat capacities we will once again do. I will do a separate lecture on that heat capacity separately. Now, for now, just take it as information. That is, your heat capacity Cp minus Cv is equal to R. If you have watched my calorimetry videos, your heat capacity delta Q by N into delta T is nothing but your C. Okay. Now, if this C is calculated at constant volume, then it will become Cv. If it is calculated at constant pressure, it will become Cp. So, your Cp is molar heat capacity at constant pressure. Cv is molar heat capacity at constant volume. Okay. So, this, while explaining these processes separately, you will get to know why Cp value is something, why Cv value is something. Don't worry about it. Okay. Right. Next, your Cp by Cv value is gamma. It is a ratio which is equal to 1 plus 2 by f. Why it is like that and all? Now, once I explain this adiabatic process, you will get to know why this Cp by Cv value is 1 plus 2 by f. Okay. And your degrees of freedom, for monoatomic gas it is 3, for diatomic it is 5, for polyatomic gas it is 6, depending upon your degrees of freedom. This part you will get to know from KTG. Okay. And this, if you are mixing two gases, your average value, your Cv value is, okay, actually if you are, I need space, but still I hope I will try to write it at the bottom. So, now which we are going to use is, your Cv value is R by gamma minus 1 and your Cp value is gamma R by gamma minus 1. Okay. So, these results are important. If you remember, no issues, but you can calculate, you solve these two equations, you are going to land up with this result. Okay. Now, why did I come to this? I will tell you. But if you have a mixture of gases, your average Cv value you are going to calculate like this, where Cv1 is for for the first gas, your Cv2 is your specific heat capacity at constant volume for second gas. Your Cp is specific heat capacity at constant pressure for first gas, Cp1, Cp2 is for second gas. Like this you can calculate. And if you want effective gamma, if you are mixing two gas containers having N1 moles and N2 moles, your effective gamma is given by this formula and your average molecular weight is given by this formula. Okay, these are the average values which you are going to use in problems. Okay, now this part I will do it separately. Okay, so in today's class I am going to concentrate only on these gas processes. Okay, in this lecture my focus is only for this process, and in all these processes what is work, what is delta U, what is delta Q, and what is the relation with the CPCV values also you will come to know in this lecture. Now before I continue, please do remember this result number 1. If you want the gamma value 1 plus 2 by F, where F is degrees of freedom, remember this result number 2, and also tabulate these results, because my next lecture will be in my next lecture I will just solve the problems based on all these processes. So I will just simply draw a graph and then I will try to just calculate your heat energy, internal energy, work and all. So for that lecture purpose you need to tabulate these results. Okay, so I will not give the tabulated result while watching itself, you just tabulate for yourself. Okay, so now I will do it, but that summary part we will do it separately. Now the first thing that I want to do is, first we will try to start with isobaric process. So in isobaric process, what is your work, what is your internal energy, what is your heat energy is what I am trying to calculate. So first we will start with isobaric process. Now first process is isobaric process. Now if you have watched the first lecture, it will not be tough. So your pressure is constant in isobaric process. So if pressure is constant, what is the use of this, I will tell you. Now first of all, let me stick to the basics. Your first equation is, as long as it is an ideal gas, our discussion is for ideal gas. For van der Waals real gases we are going to use, okay, van der Waals equation for real gas. For ideal gas we are going to use ideal gas equation. If a gas follows your postulates of KTG, it is ideal gas. This anyhow we have seen in KTG clearly, so I don't need to re-explain now. Okay, so now coming to this isobaric process, if pressure is constant, in this figure if P is constant, what happens? You are going to get V is equal to NR by P into T. So now from this, your first equation that you can use is V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2, that is equal to constant. If a gas undergoes, okay, isobaric process, okay, you don't need to mug up the result. First result that you can understand is from your ideal gas equation, that is, if N is anyhow constant, R is constant, P is constant, that is why your V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. This is your first equation that you can understand. Okay, next coming to your second part, if you try to draw P versus V graph, so because your pressure is constant, it will be a straight line like this. Similarly, if you try to draw pressure versus temperature graph, even then it will be constant. Okay, so your pressure value is fixed because it is isobaric process, so it is P0. Okay, and coming to the next part, that is your volume versus temperature graph. Okay, now from here this part is Y, this part is X, so this is in the form of Y equal to mx. So your graph will be a straight line passing through origin. If this angle is theta, your slope is tan theta. Your tan theta is equal to nr by p. Okay, so now more slope will indicate, okay, more slope implies less pressure. So if I just simply give you two V versus T graphs, okay, as an example, okay, for clarity sake I am explaining this. If I give you V versus T graph like this, and if I ask you a question, one is P1 and other is P2, tell me which one is bigger. This angle is theta 2, this angle is theta 1. Now if you look at this, more slope, your slope is inversely proportional to pressure. So more slope, less pressure. That means your P1 is less than P2 from this graph. This is the conclusion that you can make. Okay, getting my point? So here, because your slope tan theta is equal to nr by p, your slope is inversely proportional to pressure. More slope, less pressure, more slope. Okay, so according to that your P1 is less than P2. Like this you will be asked simple questions. Okay, so now copy this stuff down. Okay, pause the video clip and copy this stuff. Okay, it will be helpful in solving the questions. Now we are going to calculate the actual part. What is your work, what is your internal energy, and what is your heat energy. So now for this part, okay, I'll start calculating different values. Now first thing that I want you to understand is, whatever happens, as long as the gas is ideal gas, your ideal gas equation will hold, which is irrespective of the state, whether it is in state 1, 2, 2, 2 to 3, anywhere, wherever it is, for that particular state your ideal gas equation will be valid. So now for this isobaric process, your work done is, okay, I want you to tabulate these results immediately after I do the derivation, because they will be helpful in the problems. So now your work is integral of PdV from V1 to V2. Okay, now remember, don't get confused with your chemistry. In chemistry it is exactly opposite with a negative sign, but in physics we don't do that. Okay, we are calculating the work done by the gas, not on the gas. So now here, if your pressure is constant, here your pressure is constant, so now this will become P times integral dV from V1 to V2. Okay, because pressure is constant, constants can be taken out of the integral. So if this P is taken out of the integral, what is this going to become is P times, what is integral of dV means V from V1 to V2, that is going to give you P times V2 minus P times V1. So this is your work done in isobaric process. Okay, so that will give you PV1 means, that is going to give you nr, okay, T2 minus nr T1. Okay, so this will give you nr T2 minus nr T1. That is your work done in isobaric process. Now coming to internal energy. Okay, so this part is your work. Okay, remember this formula. Next, coming to internal energy, your delta U is equal to NCV delta T. Okay, so now here, why is this NCV, I will tell you when we come to your isochoric process, but for now your CV is R by gamma minus 1 into delta T. Now this will give you NR by gamma minus 1 times your T2 minus T1. Okay, here your gas is undergoing a transition from PV1 T1 to PV2 T2. Okay, your pressure is constant, okay, but remaining two are changing. So for this process from 1 to 2, Okay, so the arrow, if you look at it, it is from 1 to 2. So what will this give you is nR2 to T2 can be written as PV2 minus nRT1 can be written as PV1 by gamma minus 1. This is your internal energy. Now if you just try to follow what I am trying to explain here. Now this relation you can use, or you can also use this above relation for internal energy. Now what is your heat energy is your delta Q is equal to delta U plus W. Now what is your internal energy? This one. What is your work? This one. So now from here your heat energy delta Q can be written as NR, okay, for internal energy part NR by gamma minus 1 into T2 minus T1 plus for work I can write it as NR times T2 minus T1. Now you simplify this NR delta T, if you take common, that is going to give you 1 by gamma minus 1 plus 1. So 1 plus gamma minus 1 will give you N times R gamma by gamma minus 1 into delta T, that is going to give you N into Cp into delta T. Okay, so if you have watched the introduction part properly, if you have noticed, this part is nothing but Cp. So that is why your heat energy delta Q is N into Cp into delta T. Okay, so copy this stuff down, fill it in the table part. So your delta Q is NCP delta T. So now your first law of thermodynamics can be written as NCP delta T is equal to NCV delta T plus your work. Okay, so this is your final equation, and which we are going to anyhow use it later. So copy this stuff down. Okay, remember these results. Okay, because while solving the graphs, if you remember these results, you can directly substitute into the equations. Okay, now coming to graphs part, there is one more thing that I want to discuss. Now if you are given P versus V graph, what will this slope give you? I will tell you. Okay, so whenever you are asked graphs or bulk modulus kind of stuff, so what is your ideal gas equation? Means your ideal gas equation is PV is equal to nRT. Okay, now if you are asked about bulk modulus, your bulk modulus is defined as minus of delta P by, okay, or you can write it as delta V by V, delta P by delta V by V. So here pressure is 0, so your bulk modulus of elasticity is 0. Okay, your bulk modulus of elasticity is 0. Okay, right? Now reverse of this is compressibility. Okay, your compressibility is, in some books it is represented as K even. So your compressibility is reciprocal of this. So it is 1 by B or 1 by K, whatever you take. So 1 by 0, that will give you infinity. Okay, so basic questions if you are asked, just simply follow this and then do the calculation. Okay, right? Now next I will go to isochoric process. Okay, copy this stuff down. If any basic questions are asked, you just simply tick those. Okay, next. Now coming to isochoric process. Isochoric means your volume is constant. Okay, so isochoric word indicates that your volume is constant. Now if volume is constant, okay, so from ideal gas equation PV is equal to nRT, the first equation that you are going to use is, okay, so the first equation that you can use is, if volume is constant, if this part is constant, so obviously you can write P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2, that is equal to constant. Okay, so your P is directly proportional to T, so P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. Okay, next coming to the graphs part, if you take volume versus pressure and pressure versus volume, okay, now here if pressure versus volume graph is there, because volume is constant, you will have a graph like this. So irrespective of whatever pressure you have, your volume is fixed, some P1 P2 like this, your volume is constant. If you draw V versus P graph, your volume is fixed, it is V0, it is constant. Okay, similarly if you are relating your volume with temperature, so once again it will also be constant. So your volume and temperature graph, your isochoric means volume is constant, so that is why your V0 value is constant. And if you take your volume versus temperature is taken now. Now if you are taking pressure versus temperature graph, now from this equation I can rearrange it as P is equal to nR by V into T. Now this part is your Y, this part is your X, this part is your M. So it is in the form of y equal to mx, it is a straight line. So for this straight line, if this angle is theta, your tan theta is equal to nR by V, which is your slope. Okay, so more slope, less volume, less slope, more volume. Okay, so if you are asked basic questions, you can relate it and then do it. Okay, as I have explained previously. If you are given two graphs, pressure versus temperature graph like this, and ask for which one V1 and V2, which is big, means if you look at this graph, your slope of 1 is big, slope of 2 is small. So more volume, less slope, so that is why your V2 is greater than V1. Like this you can tick the options based on the requirement. Okay, right? Now coming to work part. Okay, so this is your basic part. Okay, now we will come to the calculation part, required things. So I will calculate work, internal energy and heat energy exchanged into the system, or I mean heat input or rejected from the system. So now coming to this next part, first if I try to calculate your work W, your work is W is equal to integral of P times dV. Now here for this isochoric process, what is constant means your volume is constant. Okay, now here if this volume is constant, this dV part is 0, so your work done in isochoric process is going to be 0. Next, coming to your internal energy, so if work is 0, your delta Q is actually delta U. Now if you observe carefully, delta Q in this isochoric process, okay, so your work, if it is 0, your internal energy is going to be isochoric. So delta Q is what? NCV delta T. Okay, where CV is what? Heat capacity at constant volume. Heat capacity at constant volume. So constant volume means obviously your isochoric process here. So that is why we are writing your delta U is equal to N into Cv into delta T. So your delta Q equal to delta V is equal to N Cv delta T, that is equal to Nr by gamma minus 1 into delta T. Okay. So because your work is 0, your first law of thermodynamics if you apply, delta Q is delta W, but this work is anyhow 0. So your delta Q will be equal to delta U. So from this conclusion is for isochoric process, okay, fill these results in the table. Okay. So for isochoric means your P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2 is one equation. Next, work 0, internal energy and heat energy both are equal to N into Cv into delta T, that is Nr by gamma minus 1 times final temperature minus initial temperature. Okay. So this is final minus initial. Okay. This part is important. We are going to use this. Next, I will continue further ahead. Next is, now we have calculated the work internal energy for isochoric process. Now what is the bulk modulus here? That is another thing that you are supposed to know. So as I have discussed, your bulk modulus is what? Minus of delta P by delta V by V. Your denominator is 0. So your bulk modulus is infinity. Your compressibility is 0. Okay. 1 by B is 1 by infinity. Any number by infinity is 0. Accordingly you can tick the questions and then do it. Okay. So this part I don't need to put into greater details. Basic information alone is sufficient. Now next, coming to the next part. Okay. So next is your isothermal process. Now isothermal process is, okay, isothermal means your temperature is constant. Now this process is important, lot of information you have to get it from this isothermal process. So we will start without wasting time. Your first equation that you are going to use is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to constant. Okay, because temperature is constant, PV is equal to nRT. This part is anyhow constant. So that is why your P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Now this is your first part. Next, coming to the second part. Okay, now if you are given graph, okay, if you are given a graph, you are given some pressure versus volume graph like this. Okay, now if you are given such a graph, your P can be written as nRT times 1 by V. Now if you look at this part is Y, this part is M, okay, and this is indirectly X. So you are getting some, sorry, this is not Y equal to something, this is Y equal to some constant by X. So your Y is inversely proportional to X. So if you increase the value of X, your Y value will decrease. When X is 0, Y is infinity. So that's why your graph will start like this and it will go like this. Okay, so your graph will be like this. Okay, your PV graph is like this for isothermal process. And coming to your pressure versus temperature graph, because temperature is constant, it will be like this. And coming to your volume versus temperature graph, it will be like this. And if you are asked temperature versus pressure graph, because temperature is constant, it is like this. If you are asked temperature versus volume graph also, it will be like this, because your which parameter, here temperature is on x-axis, it is supposed to be constant. Here temperature is on x-axis, it is supposed to be constant. Here temperature is on y-axis, it is supposed to be constant. Here temperature is on y-axis, it is supposed to be constant. Now coming to this part, what will this slope of this isotherm give you, that is your important part. Okay, now normally we take slope to be this angle, okay, alpha. Okay, if I mark this as alpha, your slope is angle with x-axis, I will take this as theta. So your slope for this graph is minus tan theta or tan alpha. Why is that? Tan of alpha plus theta is equal to, your required slope is tan alpha, but alpha plus theta is how much? 180 degrees. So tan of 180 minus alpha is minus tan theta. So minus tan alpha. So tan of 180 minus theta minus tan theta, no? So that is why your slope is minus of tan theta. So this part is visible to us. Okay, so for this graph we will not look at your angle with positive x-axis. Do not look at this angle. So we are looking minus of, okay, minus of this angle, okay, minus of this angle here. Okay, so now what will this slope of this isotherm graph give you? I will tell you now. So I hope I can erase this. I will keep explaining further. So now without students during this lockdown, it is really getting difficult. Body language has become really bad. I am not even turning into the camera. I will try my best, however. So now coming to this pressure versus volume graph. If this is your graph, now PV is equal to nRT. This is your ideal gas equation. Okay. Now here temperature is constant, so this term is constant. Now in maths you have, if you have derivative of two functions, derivative of u into v, you will write it as u times dv by dx plus v times du by dx. According to that logic, p times dv by dx plus v times dp by dx is equal to 0. Okay, so that will give you p dv plus v dp is equal to 0, sending dx to other side. Now from this, what is that I can do is p dv is equal to minus v dp. So your dp by dv is minus p by v. Okay, so your dp by dv is minus p by v. This is going to be your slope. Now if this angle, as I have discussed, if you are drawing slope, okay, dy by dx for a curve gives, dy by dx gives slope of tangent. Slope of tangent to a curve is given by dy by dx. So according to that, your slope of PV graph is given by dp by dv. So your minus tan theta, okay, your minus tan theta is going to be your p by v. Now if you are trying to calculate your bulk modulus, okay, so your bulk modulus is given by, your bulk modulus B is given by, B is equal to, okay, for isothermal process, minus of delta P by delta V by V. Of course, you can write it as dP by dV by V. So now this thing can be rearranged, okay. So minus of dP by dV whole divided by dV by V, so that is going to become minus V times dP by dV. dP by dV is how much? Minus P by V. So minus V into minus P by V, minus minus will go off, so you are going to get P. So your isothermal bulk modulus is equal to pressure. Okay, now this relation is actually given by Newton. Your isothermal bulk modulus is equal to pressure. Same thing you will get it in sound waves. Your velocity of sound is given by V equal to under root B by rho. Okay, in a liquid medium kind of stuff, your velocity of sound is given by this relation. So now this was given by Newton, later Laplace corrected it. So that we actually considering the adiabatic process, that we will see later. Now your compressibility, if you are taking, your compressibility is okay 1 by B, that is equal to 1 by P. Okay, so you are going to get a graph like this, and your slope okay, your slope will give you P by V, and your bulk modulus is equal to pressure, isothermal bulk modulus. Okay, now here for this process we will try to calculate your work and all. So now before calculating that, okay, I just want to ask you a simple question if you are thinking logically. So what is the question is, let us say you are given a P versus V graph like this, and you have three parallel curves like this. It is T1, T2, T3. Tell me, my question is, which temperature is big and why? I want you to think which temperature is big and why. What is the reason for this big temperature? These are actually called as isotherms. Okay, so tell me which temperature is big and why. What is the relation between T1, T2 and T3? Think logically. PV is equal to nRT. Now here if I just simply draw this dotted line like this, indirectly your volume here is constant. Okay, so don't consider this as isochoric process. I am taking a particular volume. Now at a particular volume, if you look at this graph, more temperature, more pressure. So here obviously this is your P1, this is your P2, this is your P3. Your P1 is big. For T1 graph it is big, so that is why your T1 is greater than T2 greater than T3. Okay, so you will be given simple logical questions like this. You must be able to answer those. If you just simply think slightly logical manner, you will automatically get the answers. Here I have taken at a particular volume, pressure is less for P3, next in the middle it is for P2, high for P1. That is why I am considering this more temperature, more pressure. So P1 is more. Obviously this graph, your temperature T1 is more. Okay, so like this you can think logically and deduce the answers. Okay, right. Now next, coming to our work. Okay, so far I have explained what is the isothermal process, but I told you ultimately to solve problems, what is that we require? Ultimately we should be able to apply your first law of thermodynamics. So now for this isothermal process or isometric process also it is called, in some books it will be given like that. Do not worry about the names. So your work is in isothermal process, it is integral of PdV, that is equal to integral of your pressure is nRT by V dV from volume V1 to V2. Okay, so because your PV is equal to nRT, I can replace P with nRT by V. So that will give you nRT, because it is constant, I will take it out of the integral. Okay, so this term is constant. Constants can be taken out of the integral, times integral dV by V from V1 to V2. Okay, now that will give you nRT times integral of dV by V is ln V from lower limit v1, upper limit v2. So that will give you nRT ln v2 minus ln v1. Ln a minus ln b is ln of a by b. So that will give you your work done is, in isothermal process, it is nRT times ln of v2 by v1, which is also equal to nRT ln of p1 by p2. Why? Because if temperature is constant, your p1 v1 is equal to p2 v2 for isothermal process. So this v2 by v1 can be replaced with p1 by p2. Okay, so this is the end result. It is important, just keep in mind. Now coming to your internal energy, your delta U is N into CV into delta T, but this part is equal to 0, so that is why your internal energy is 0. Okay, your internal energy is 0 here. And coming to your heat energy, delta Q is delta U plus W. Now because this part is anyhow 0, so it is equal to work done. Your heat energy delta Q is also equal to nRT times ln of v2 by v1, that is equal to nRT ln of p1 by p2. Okay, here also the same thing. Your gas is undergoing a pressure p1, I mean a state change from 1 to 2. Okay, while writing in the problems, check the initial states. Here v2 is final state, v1 is the initial state. Don't get confused at these results. This is p2 v2. Okay, so pause the video clip, even copy this stuff down. So for isothermal process, that is your end result. Okay, now do the summarization, fill it in the table. For isothermal, baric, choric, for all these processes, what is work, what is delta U, and what is your delta Q. It is very much essential to solve the problems. Okay, you will just simply be given a graph and you will be asked to calculate. So without knowing this stuff, you will not be able to do it. Okay, right. Now next, coming to the next part. Okay, next is the important part, that is your adiabatic process. Okay, so now coming to your adiabatic process. For adiabatic process, no heat exchange happens from or to the system. So now what are the examples of adiabatic process? Means sudden bursting of cycle tire, okay, and sudden expansion of gas in a container, where in which there is no sufficient time for any external heat to come in. Okay, so propagation of sound waves is also kind of adiabatic process. Okay, so your propagation of sound in air is also a adiabatic process. Okay, propagation of sound in air is adiabatic. Okay, so no heat exchange will happen. Now for all these kind of process, what are the different values that we can calculate? I will tell you. So ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT, anyhow that will hold. Now first, okay, I before I draw any graph, okay, I need to explain something here. Now first of all, okay, if PV is equal to nRT, if you differentiate this PdV plus VdP, if you are, let us say you are differentiating with respect to x, you are going to get it as nR dt by dx. Okay, so now if you differentiate, I mean if you remove the dx in the bottom, PdV plus VdP is equal to nR dt. Okay, so keep this relation to the side. Okay, you just keep this relation to the side. Now once you know this relation, what is that I am going to do is, okay, now here your adiabatic process, your heat energy is 0, right? So now I am going to use this fact to explain certain basic things. Now your delta Q is equal to delta U plus W. Okay, now I want you to understand certain basic things. Your delta Q is 0, so your 0 is equal to your delta U is what? N into CV into delta T plus W. So now at this step itself, okay, you have got your work. Delta U is how much? N into Cv is R by gamma minus 1 into delta T, that is final minus initial temperature. Now your work is minus of delta U. So minus of delta U means here final temperature minus initial temperature. Now if you keep a minus sign, minus of Nr, okay, that I can replace with initial minus final. So that will give you Nr by T initial minus T final by gamma minus 1. So this is your work in adiabatic process, but I will do something else to explain in further details. Okay, so from this step itself you can calculate what is the work and what is your internal energy. But how will we actually get that PV power gamma equal to constant is what I am going to explain now. So now we do know the fact that your work is what? PdV, right? So now from this we have calculated what is required, but one more equation to solve the, like how we are writing PV is equal to constant for isothermal process, P is directly proportional to T for isochoric process. Like that for adiabatic process also we can calculate and give PV power gamma equal to constant. Okay, so I will derive that. So deriving PV power gamma is equal to constant for adiabatic process. So now here at this step, if you observe carefully, 0 is equal to Nr by gamma minus 1 times, okay, it is T2 minus T1, okay, plus W is PdV, but this part, so I'll, what is there? So your dq is du plus dw, small work. dq is 0. 0 is equal to du is ncv dt, that is nr by gamma minus 1 into dt plus small work dw can be written as p times dv. This I have explained during first law of thermodynamics. Now this nr dt can be replaced with pdv plus vdp. So substitute it into this equation. So that will give you 0 is equal to nr dt pdv plus vdp by gamma minus 1 plus p times dv. Okay, so that will give you 0 is equal to pdv plus vdp plus p times gamma minus 1 into dv. Okay, gamma minus 1 you send it to other side, that becomes 0, plus pdv minus pdv will cancel off. You are going to get 0 is equal to vdp minus plus gamma p into dv. Okay, so that will give you minus vdp is equal to gamma p into dv. This can be written as minus dp by dv by v is equal to gamma into p, which is your bulk modulus. Okay, this is your isothermal bulk modulus, but this part is not what I want. So now I will just slightly deviate. So I will rearrange these terms. So now that will give you dp by p is equal to minus of gamma into dv by v. Now integration on both sides. Integral of dp by p is equal to minus gamma of integral of dv by v. V initial, p initial, v final, p final limits. So that will give you ln p from p initial to p final is equal to minus gamma of ln of v from v initial to v final. So that will give you p final by p initial is equal to minus gamma times, okay, of course ln is there, minus gamma ln of v final by v initial. Send this minus gamma to upper side. Okay, I will slightly deviate here. I will go to this side, I will utilize this space. So that will give you how much means P final by P initial is, if you know logarithmic properties, so this minus thing, if it goes to other side, V final by V initial power minus gamma. From here this minus gamma can be replaced in reverse manner. P final by P initial is equal to V initial by V final whole power plus gamma. Okay, minus gamma can be rearranged and written as plus gamma. From here P final V final power gamma is equal to P initial V initial power gamma. Like this you are going to get your PV power gamma is equal to constant for your adiabatic process. Okay, and coming to your work, this is your expression, and your internal energy, it is this much. Okay, this nRT final can be written as, okay, P2V2 minus P1V1 by gamma minus 1. This part it is P1V1 minus P2V2 by gamma minus 1. Okay, so these results you just fill it into your notebook. Okay, right, now I have given the bulk modulus as well. So your compressibility is reverse. Okay, this is what Laplace gave. This is your Laplace correction. Okay, now I will continue further. Okay, now here from all this calculation I have derived that your PV power gamma is constant. Now from this part, if I continue further, we do know the fact that your PV is equal to nRT. So I can replace this P with, okay, this is your first result. Your second result is P can be replaced with nRT by V into V power gamma is equal to constant. So that will give you T V power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. That is going to give you your second result. And your third result is, okay, your third result is you can relate pressure and temperature. So P times, in place of volume you can substitute it as nRT by V, that is going to your constant power gamma. Sorry, V is nRT by P. So from here P power 1 minus gamma, T power gamma is equal to constant. So you can also use these results. Okay, so these are the three equations for adiabatic gas. Okay, I mean adiabatic expansion of the gas. Okay, so now this result, depending upon whether you are given P versus V graph or V versus T graph, like this you can keep using it. Now coming to this slope, okay, I want to explain the slope part. That is the important part. Okay, here before I explain further, if I give you just simply two graphs like this, and if I say one is isotherm and other is adiabatic, out of this A and B, which one is adiabatic and which one is isothermal, we are going to finalize now. So now here, if your PV power gamma is constant, if you differentiate this equation, so your P times derivative of V power gamma is gamma V power gamma minus 1 times dV by dx plus V power gamma into dP by dx. This part derivative of constant is anyhow equal to 0. Now from here this will become gamma P times V power gamma minus 1 times dV plus, this can be written as V power gamma into dP is equal to 0. I have just sent the dx to the other side. Now that will give you gamma P times V power gamma by V. So this V power gamma minus 1, I am just simply rearranging it as, writing it as V power gamma by V dV plus V power gamma into dP is equal to 0. So V power gamma you just take common out. So gamma p by v times dv is equal to minus dp. So minus of dp by dv is equal to gamma p by v. This is equal to your tan theta for your this adiabatic graph. So because your pv power gamma is constant, so p will be equal to some constant times v power gamma. So it is y equal to some my x power n graph. So it will be like this. So here once again your angle theta is what I am trying to calculate. It is minus tan theta. So it is also your slope of adiabatic process, which is your minus tan theta. Now if you divide this with for isothermal graph, we got p by v. So now here your slope of adiabatic by slope of isothermal, if you are calculating, so that will give you gamma p by v whole divided by p by v. P by v will cancel off. You are going to get gamma. Your gamma is nothing but 1 plus 2 by f. That means your slope is greater than 1. So now here, if this, from this I can conclude that if you look at this graph, okay, this will definitely be adiabatic and this will be isothermal. Okay, so this will be steeper. Okay, this will be flat and this will be more steeper because the slope is more. Okay, your slope is nothing but angle with x axis. So more is the slope, more is the steepness. So when you are given two graphs like this, isothermal will be flat and adiabatic will be more kind of vertical like this. Okay, so like this you can relate the slope as well. Okay, now we have calculated work, we have calculated slope. Now let me see whether we have time to solve one more question. Let me check. Next, now we will continue where we have left off in the previous lecture. So the next part that you are going to have in adiabatic thing is, let me try to do a question. Let us say there is a gas and somehow its volume versus temperature graph is given to you like this, and this angle is some theta naught, your temperature is T naught, volume is V naught. What is your question is, find value of Cp Cv from graph. Find value of Cp, Cv from graph. Okay, so you are not given whether it is monoatomic, diatomic, anything. You are just simply given there is a gas and its volume versus temperature graph is given to you like this. Now because nothing is mentioned, we have to once again start from the basics part. Okay, now let us say your PV power gamma is equal to constant. Now if you differentiate this, P times gamma V power gamma minus 1 times V plus V power gamma into dP, this part is equal to 0. I have just shown you how to differentiate, so it's not going to be a big deal. So now from here I can rearrange and write it as gamma P by V times dV is equal to minus dP. Take V power gamma out. Okay, if you take V power gamma out and send it to other side, it anyhow becomes 0. So now your gamma P by V is equal to minus of dP by dV, which is nothing but your tan of theta naught. Your tan theta naught value is this much. Okay, if you are taking P versus V graph, okay, here V versus T graph is given, sorry, then you cannot do this because V versus T graph dV by dt is tan theta naught. Okay, sorry, I have got misleaded. Okay, so now your next thing is, okay, sorry, so now PV power gamma is constant, your P is nR T by V, so T V power gamma minus 1 is constant. So this equation I will use it. Okay, so now your t v power gamma minus 1 is constant. So if I differentiate it, that will give me t times gamma minus 1 into v power gamma minus 2 times dv plus v power gamma minus 1 into dt is equal to 0. So v power gamma minus 1 will cancel off, t power gamma minus 1 times v power minus 1 dv plus dt is equal to 0. So that will give you t times gamma minus 1 into v plus dv plus dt is equal to 0. Now from here t times gamma minus 1 into v is equal to minus dt by dv. So minus dt by dv is your tan of theta naught. Okay, so don't get confused with this sign. I told you alpha beta relation just previous one. So from here your gamma value is, for this theta naught, this t is going to become t naught from the graph, your v is going to become v naught. So from here t naught by v naught times gamma minus 1 is equal to tan theta naught. So that will give you the value of gamma. So your gamma minus 1 is equal to v naught tan theta naught by t naught. From here gamma minus 1 value is this much, your gamma value is v naught tan theta naught by t naught plus 1. So now you have got your gamma minus 1 value and gamma value. So now from here your Cp is, first Cv is r by gamma minus 1, your Cp is gamma r by gamma minus 1. Substitute these values into these equations to get the final answers. Okay, so this is how you are going to calculate your Cp and Cv. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.